प्रधानमंत्री जस्टिन ट्रूडो ने ओटावा विच नैशनल इंडीजीनस पीपल डे के मौके ते एक कम्युनिटी समारोह में शिरकत की, जिथे उन्होंने संखेप टिप्पणियां दित्तियां अते हाज़र लोकां नाल मुलाकात की। अपनी टिप्पणी के दौरान उन्होंने कहा कि यह दिन नवे सभ्याचारां, नवे नाचां, नवे गीतां, नवे भोजनां, सोचण दे नवे तरीके खोजण दा एक मौका सी। नैशनल इंडीजीनस पीपल डे पहली बार 1996 विच मनाया गया सी अते इस दिन नूं मानता दिंदे हुए देश भर विच कई जश्न मनाए जा रहे हैं।
Although it does bring to mind, we're here celebrating, oh, this is the longest day of the year, but 18 hours maybe. Yeah, you get 6 months for your longest day of the year, but you know how to celebrate a solstice over many, many months. But what you said about leadership is very, very true. And I every day, and I see it in Indigenous leaders across the country who are stepping up in extraordinary ways to shape not just the future of their communities, of their nations, but of the country. Because we've seen time and time again over the past years how important it is to non-Indigenous Canadians that we be recognizing, celebrating, and rebuilding those relationships of trust, of partnership that go back to the very beginnings of settlers' experience in this land. The Indigenous peoples who first let the settlers know how to survive through a very long winter, how to find sustenance and nourishment in this extraordinary land, and helped shape a society and a community where identities are additive. When we talk a lot about the multicultural origins of Canada, English versus French, figuring out how to work together, we forget the extent to which that was all informed by Indigenous understanding, Indigenous perspectives that involved an openness to others, a respect for land, for partnerships, for adoptions, for identities that learn even as they challenged each other. And that provided the framework for Canada in a very, very real way, both in the earliest days, but continue to today. I think that's part of why it is so important that everyone, not just Indigenous peoples, be celebrating on this Indigenous Peoples Day. And it's important to remember, even as we talk about the Indigenous experience in Canada, talk about Indigenous identity and culture and contributions, that yes, we acknowledge the terrible wrongs generations of Canadian governments and institutions and individuals perpetrated on Indigenous peoples throughout our history. But we cannot only get wrapped up in the difficulties, even though they color everything we exist. We do have to take moments to celebrate. We do have to take moments to stand strongly and proudly in learning from each other and celebrating culture and identity and watching Indigenous people stand up strongly and clearly say, we're still here. Not only are we still here, we're still proud of who we are. We're still fighting for our language. We're still fighting for our kids. We're still fighting for this Mother Earth that matters so much.